a little bit more about what that's all about and how that works, and what happened in his situation, and give some honor. And if you got any comments or anything that you want to add to that conversation, if you got anything or any pictures that you got, everybody's putting up their pictures of Jesse Jackson and that kind of thing today as well. So we're going to put that out, and we're going to recognize and do a shout out. So if you got a good Jesse Jackson story, you got something you want to add to the conversation today, by all means, drop it in the chat. We'll make sure we get that brought out, and so everybody will get a opportunity to hear from that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a really quick break, because I want to make sure we all lined up and we're good to go. We're going to come back with Pastor Aaron Phillips, Judge Michael Nelson, and we're going to get the program started. You're listening to Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell and Dr. Heather E. Burton on the Strategic Moves radio show on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Get ready, Cleveland. It's your turn to speak up. Call in and tell us what's on your mind. Join the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show on 95.9 FM WOVU, or stream live at WOVU.org. Let's make your voice count. Let's go.
John.
What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show for What's on Your Mind Tuesdays. Call in, comment, and connect on WOVU 95 FM, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media. Let's go. What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show for What's on Your Mind Tuesdays. Call in, comment, and connect on WOVU 95 FM, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media. Let's go. What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show for What's on Your Mind Tuesdays. Call in, comment, and connect on WOVU 95
and
FM,
has made the world safer. Garrett Morgan was born in 1877 in Kentucky, the seventh of 11 children. After working as a handyman in his early years, Garrett Morgan moved to Cleveland, starting as a sewing machine repairman. His experiences with fixing machines and problem-solving helped shape his imagination. After saving enough income for over
WOVU 95 FM, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media. Let's go. What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show for What's on Your Mind Tuesdays. Call in, comment, and connect on WOVU 95 FM, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media. Let's go.
Call, a major black newspaper which is today known as the Call and Post. Finally, in 1923, Garrett Morgan famously invented the three-position traffic lights, which added the yellow warning light to help reduce accidents. This in a time when streets were dominated by bicycles, horse-drawn buggies, and streetcars, but had little time to react to stop-and-go signals alone. He also created the night setting, which allowed traffic lights to blink yellow, while accounting for less traffic. Garrett Morgan eventually sold his patent of the traffic light to General Electric for $40,000, which today would be worth an estimated $750,000. Before Garrett Morgan died in 1963, he was honored by the U.S. government, as his inventions have continued to help save lives today among several professions. We are WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, the People Station, where we celebrate Black History daily.
We make Black History daily on WOVU 95.9, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell Radio Show. For What's on Your Mind Tuesdays, call in, comment, and connect on 95.9 FM WOVU, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media. Let's go.
All right, we are back. We back. We got a full house today. We got Judge Michael Nelson in. Dr. Heather Burton just flew on in here. She's ready to grow. We got DJ Unicorn. We got Liberty. We got Pastor Aaron Phillips. And I think we're ready to roll for our whole program today. Before we get going, Doctor, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I made it to the station after a traffic jam.
Oh.
On Opportunity Corridor. And
Really?
when you see a traffic jam and you're trying to figure out why, and then you get there and there's one car on the side of the road. I was hoping that it might have been, I wasn't hoping it was an accident, but maybe it was an accident beforehand.
Right.
So stuck in traffic, but I'm here, and today I get to hang out with the folks at the Federal Reserve Bank.
Oh.
Talking about black people. So this is going to be interesting.
That ought to be a short conversation.
What? I got a lot to say.
You say, I know you do.
I got a lot.
If
It's
they
for Black
talking about,
History Month.
oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
they
Black
just doing
History Month.
something. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, you had all the deltas in this, wasn't it? All the deltas. Y'all had y'all big event this weekend, or was that last?
It was last weekend. We had our statewide Founders Day.
Oh, okay. That was last
weekend.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of people said it was really nice, and y'all had the cotillion.
We did have a cotillion Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's what
saw
it was.
Lateef across the room.
Yeah, that's
And it's
what it
y'all. Lateef had on a suit.
Oh, okay.
Lateef had on a suit
Tell her,
Sunday.
you own a few of those.
Burton.
You own a few
Yeah,
of those.
Lateef was sharp Sunday.
You have a
I
few
was
of
trying
those.
to find you too. I was trying to look for you.
Burton was in and out.
I know
I said,
that's
"Where
right.
Burton?"
And she
I
does
said,
everything.
If I try to look for her, I'm never gonna find her.
She's a phantom. Man. She
Yeah, I'd be like,
shows,
and then I disappeared. As soon as dinner was over, I ate and I was out.
Lord have mercy.
But the whole program was
was
beforehand.
yeah.
So the whole program was beforehand and then dinner. But it was really nice. But you know what's interesting
What's interesting?
is listening to these young women and their accomplishments. Like seniors in high school, all they've accomplished. I was like, this is amazing.
All right,
'Cause
walking in your
but I also
footsteps.
feel though that it creates, because I know I saw this at Case, is because they're so accomplished coming out of high school, it creates this level of competition that often ends up in anxiety, depression when they're competing constantly because trying to achieve more and more. And so, we saw that very often.
And they mainly be competing against men, which unfortunately a lot of that is. And y'all know, Doc, you like, here I go with my bag again. But it's the truth. And when I say that is we're in such a tight box that we all got to fight. And so when we all fighting, it seems like, that's what we're fighting against. And most of the time women have the upper hand over us on that.
Yeah, and I just feel, you look at them and you're like, these are great accomplishments, but how much pressure they put on themselves
Correct.
to achieve more.
That's correct.
And that's always my concern when it's young people, is how much pressure is being put on them, from society, from parents, from everything to achieve more.
Hey, we're going to get ready to get in our program. DJ, you got anything you want to add to this Unicorn before we
I
get
will tell you, though, I
anything that's
preached
going
Sunday,
big?
Unicorn, at Greater Friendship Baptist Church,
Ew.
and I gave a shout out to, I couldn't remember the name of the sign, sign program, but I told the people in it, because it was they have church at Ted Ginn at Ginn Academy, and I told them they need to go get the signs and put signs in the yard. It flowed very perfectly into my sermon, but I told them they need to put signs in the yard.
Thank you. I definitely sincerely appreciate that. It's been a whirlwind this Black History Month 2026, and I'm super appreciative to just receive that confirmation from the Lord and the universe that I'm on the right path. I was going to ask y'all to break down the cotillion and what it is, and when the kids go, what do they actually do and what do they get out of it? Because
That's a woman's show.
That's what. Should that be a Stilettos episode?
That's a Stilettos episode.
Okay.
All right, Ken.
But to my understanding, young men show up too. I mean, Teef was there.
Yeah.
It was there supporting another
And
woman.
the girls have escorts.
I more so mean for
escorts.
like the cultural informative type, because I didn't grow up on that aspect, on that side of the train track as a black Negro.
Right.
I wasn't going to Cotillions. And my people across the street don't know what Cotillions are, which is why I was like, okay, maybe we should break that down for listeners.
And in a short thing, it's a coming out. A coming out for boys and girls. So you have the Botillion and the Cotillion.
So
the
would you say
Cotillion
it's
for
like
girls.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Would you say it's like equivalent to like a bar mitzvah?
Yeah,
Like
what's a bar mitzvah? You been to one of them before? Aaron, you can kick in on these conversations. You ain't got to wait. You part of this. You been to a bar mitzvah
I've
before?
never been to.
No.
Are we?
I'm just being. I've never been to
Are
a
bar
bar
mitzvahs
mitzvah.
open to?
Isn't that like their
many.
coming of age?
But that is their coming of age.
It's coming of age.
The bar mitzvah is coming of
been
age.
to
Or like a
many.
quinceañera?
Yeah, for 16. But it's more, and it's formal. It's more than one girl, so it's usually multiple girls and boys, depending on whether it's a cotillion or botillion, and it's demonstrating their coming of age to the society, but graduating from high school. And you talk about all their accomplishments, and then they get scholarships from it.
And their goals, what they want to do.
Yeah,
do.
and where they're going.
It's a good thing.
And I've been to them as a escort when I was in college, and as a parent, so with my daughters, granddaughters. So, yes, it's a great thing.
It's a great thing, man.
Who put them
need-
together? Is this like an
Networking
NAACP thing?
No.
So no, this was
Divine Nine thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was sponsored by Delta
Okay.
Sigma Theta.
They all, I
and
think,
then
have they all.
AKs I know do one
Links,
also.
Links have
Yeah,
one.
they all have one.
The Links have one.
Yeah.
You know.
It's that. I ain't see that hand over there.
They get it done.
And it's
It's a fundraiser, man.
It's that middle upper class thing. Yeah.
Well, not always.
Well, they got
the sponsor groups.
As a sponsor, the
But,
person who sells the most ads and all that other stuff is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
They get
what
honored.
it is.
Yeah.
They get honored,
Get honored.
and it's a good thing. So I don't want to come off like I'm
Like
hating
it.
on it,
Well,
but
thank you
I'm
for
just making
informing
fun
me.
on it. That's all.
Thank you for telling
Each
me.
organization runs theirs
You
differently.
only hit me up with these.
Yep. That's one of the
Yes,
things.
yes.
You only got a couple other announcements we want to make real quick.
Yes, we also got some general vitality going down with YDH Consulting February 28th from 10 to 2:30 at Hope Ignites. That's 9438 Dorothy Ave in Garfield. You'll be able to understand how to legally protect assets and preserve legacy. What we're talking about is life insurance. What we're talking about is power of attorney, things that you will need to know and understand, especially if you become a caretaker like me. Notarization of legal documents and advice from
That's good
industry
stuff right there.
experts,
Yeah.
It
including
is.
estate planning, toolkit, lunch, and free parking. For me, I'm definitely planning my funeral before I go. I don't want that responsibility on my loved ones, and I'm very particular. I know this about myself, and I don't want to be in the back of the room cussing anybody out when I go. So if you like me, be there February 28th at Hope Ignites from 10 to 2:30 p.m. We also got a job fair and open house going down February 18th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right inside of the public auditorium. That's 500 Lakeside Avenue. If you're looking for a job, you're exploring career opportunities at the entry level, and you want to discover some government jobs, please find yourself there at the job fair and open house. This is brought to you by the city of Cleveland, which is why I said if you want a good government job, those good government jobs, they always encourage us to
Y'all
take.
talk about my slang. What is that? That's black country.
I don't know what dialect that was.
She got
Government.
Government.
Yes. But they are hiring, despite what you may be hearing out in these streets. They definitely are hiring for entry-level positions. February 18th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the public auditorium, downtown Cleveland.
That's DJ Unicorn. Now, if y'all
Yes.
got events and things that are going on in the city, every Tuesday, we trying to make this a place where you can give us that information. We want to shout that information out to the people so that they know what's going on, and we can be that vehicle for you. Pastor Aaron Phillips, are you still with us, sir?
I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, man. We wait. You here?
I'm
We
on
see
it. Yes,
you.
sir.
You all good, brother. We're gonna bring you in on this conversation, and I'm gonna lead into that conversation because the conversation we're gonna talk about today is we're gonna talk about the Jesse Jackson and the death of Jesse Jackson and kind of what that meant to our community. Also, before we get to that, I want to give a shout out because I got a death in my family that came up. One of my aunts, she passed away on Friday. So I have to go to Tennessee and deal with
Sorry,
that.
Ken.
Now, the issue with that for me is that she's the last of all of my aunts. So I only had 3. My mother, her sister. My mother was the middle child. Then we had my oldest aunt. She died, I think, 2 years ago, and then this one just died. So that's it.
Our sympathies.
Yeah, so my family is a very small family, and that's about it. So now we're down to just cousins and that kind of thing. And guess who's the oldest cousin?
Ken.
Yeah, ain't that something? I realized that the other day too. Like, God, and I'm the oldest cousin. So
Which means the responsibility of keeping the families falling on you.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, you know. And so I think that's going to be a conversation we're going to have also, because to that there is some responsibility enough, and it's hard when family is all over the place and all over the place living, and they also is all over the place. You know what I mean? So it's kind
That is an innuendo right there.
So, you know, that makes it kind of hard for a guy out here. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. But also, we want to talk about Jesse Jackson. And Pastor, I want to start off with you because we've been talking a little bit and you've been just sitting there like a deer in the headlights. So we're going to let you get some words in. What's happening with you today? Enlighten us of what's going on. And we talked this morning. What do you want to talk as it relates to Jesse Jackson?
Well, I just want to first say good afternoon, everybody. I was enjoying your conversation. I was like Judge Mike Nelson. I was an escort to Debbie Ball a couple of times in high school. And so I know all about that. My sister was a debutante and all that. That's a part of our culture, and it's good to know that we have people who are still practicing that. I wanted to just say it was an honor and a privilege for me to know one of our greatest leaders of our generation, and that is the Reverend Jesse Jackson. For people in our age category, Ken, most of us were born in the 60s, so we heard of and knew of Martin Luther King, but he had already passed. I was born in 66. Martin Luther King was assassinated. But with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I got to know him as a kid because of my father in Denver, Colorado, and when I moved to Cleveland to Reverend Dr. E.T.
All right, what's going on?
And most of
Reverend, we're missing you.
Well, it's not on me. I haven't done anything, but.
Well, no, you back. Keep talking. Just keep talking. Just keep going.
Okay. Well, somebody said.
No, you couldn't. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking, Phillips. We'll let you know if there's a problem.
Okay. I would just want to say that the world is mourning the loss, as well as America, and especially Black America. Mourns loss of our great leader, and it was great for me to be able to know him. I posted a picture first with my daughter and my youngest daughter and him and I in the office of Greater Abyssinia Baptist Church a few years ago. Reverend Cavins brought him here, but then thank you, Brother Louis Burrell. He sent me a couple more pictures where I forgot that I took some with him by myself, and he was a jewel of a person. And what you saw on television was the same thing you saw in person. He was a regular person. He was those last of those leaders that, even though he had a lot of, we would call them bodyguards, people around him, you could touch him, and he still had the tender touch of the people. And it's a loss, but we know someone's in heaven is Reverend Dr. Jesse Louis Jackson. That's just my honor and tribute.
Mike, Judge Nelson, and Pastor, you can jump in the conversation anytime, so just make sure you're part of that. Judge Nelson, what do you got? You say you had a thing with your experience of dealing with Jesse Jackson and all of that.
Well, Jesse was just a phenomenal guy. My first experience was when he helped in the fight to save Central State University years ago. And then the last opportunity I had to spend with the Reverend was at his 80th birthday party, which was held in Detroit. Joe Gordon, who was at Central Cadillac, we all went up. And the party was sponsored by the Black Automotive owners, and it was a great party up in Detroit, Michigan. And I got involved with Jesse in a big way. I was his college coordinator for the state of Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, and Michigan. When he ran the first time in '84, and it's refreshing. In fact, I'm going to talk about my experience at Kent State this weekend. I understand, but Arlene Anderson, Tim Ivey, they were all in college then. Oberlin, Youngstown State, and I had all those universities, and we had some great experiences. I remember I took my daughter Nikki to Detroit, and for the primary, and see in Detroit. They only had 8 polling places. It was on a Saturday. They were open for about 3 hours, and Mondale was the choice, was the traditionalist choice. And we went up there and took all the delegates. And in fact, it was so funny because, the rules say you can't have a candidate's picture within so many feet of the polling place, and they had Mondale pictures in all the union halls. And see where the voting took place in all the union halls. And my daughter was about 9 then, and I took Nikki up there, and she started trying to tear down the pictures. Because she knew the rules. And Mayor Coleman Young came over. He said, "Who is this little girl tearing down all these pictures? Who is this little girl?" And, he was really playing a role. So Nikki came out and said, "I'm tearing down the pictures." He said, "Come here, girl. You're the bravest thing in here." But that was a great experience. And Jesse took all the delegates, in the '84. And Ken, I have to remind the audience, we said earlier that Jesse was first, but Shirley Chisholm was first, and she got 172.
That's good.
She got 184. But Jesse's campaign was the first really national campaign.
That black woman always beat us.
Well, but hers.
You said it earlier, Ken.
Hers was a start, but the first real campaign was Jesse's campaign. We got matching funds. We didn't have a clue. Steve Rogers from Cleveland was the national treasurer.
So let's go on there. You said Arnold Pinckney was
the national campaign.
So he ran the whole show.
He ran the whole show countrywide.
Okay.
And there was so much Cleveland. Now Cleveland was in the house. The Bustamani's was on the legal team. Mike White and Mayor Marcia Fudge were regional coordinators. I mean, it was big, and we were all in it with Arnold and I remember I had a car, man. They got me, and we on the payroll, and we drove around all across the state, organizing the colleges and universities, and it's so ironic because when I went to law school in '86, a lot of the students that were part of the organization were seniors in their various colleges. And I went to law school late. So I show up at Case, and I'm looking around there, but I know you are a college coordinator. So it was a really great experience. But we learned so much, and we became part of the national lexicon then because Jesse, in spite of people trying to discourage him, he wasn't backing up. And he ran a legitimate campaign.
So I want to tap into what it was about that time, the movement, and why. All right.
Well, I got a Jesse story.
Whoa. Okay. Let's hear it. I was wondering why. So I was wondering because I don't have one.
Oh, just cut the poor woman out.
Actually,
because of the National Missionary Baptist Convention.
Okay.
He used to always be a part of our convention for different things. So I had the opportunity to meet Reverend Jackson on several occasions.
Excellent.
And be in the room with him.
You got some pictures?
I think the last one I have, I got to find it, but the last one I had was when he was in his wheelchair.
Okay.
And so I don't know what year that was, but we were in, were we in? I can't remember where we were. I gotta remember where we were. But I
didn't have the opportunity of meeting him. There was a bunch of events and things that took place where I could have went there and met him and did some stuff like that. But either I was in the field doing something else or getting other things done during that time and never had the opportunity of being able to sit down and talk with him. Yeah. But Judge, I'm going to ask you, because you were part of the movement, part of the time of what was going on back then, kind of paint to the audience what was the time like then, and what did it feel like to go through that movement, and what inspired that movement to take place?
Keep Hope Alive, bread basket, all those kinds of things. And see, Jesse got involved.
And why was it Keep Hope Alive? I mean, was we at a position where the country was really at a turmoil where black folks felt like it was our time? Was the movement at a point where this was the time, like this was our Obama moment? I mean, give me that so we can kind of know what we were dealing with that made you guys move forward.
Well, prior to Jesse and the latter, see, the early movement was in the courts.
Okay.
After Birmingham, it was about court things. 54 with the Brown versus Board of Education. So it was a lot of legal things. But once we got past that, we got into the movement where Black Power became a term, and Big Afros became people. It was about pride. It was about the breakout. It was about us accepting the fact that not only were we going to get rights versus via the legal avenues, but we also became expressive about who we were. Expressive about it. And we had some self-sufficiency.
Okay.
See, I remember when Jesse would do those big concerts out in California and all around there, and it was about bringing black people together. And remember, Reverend Moss was part of Operation Push that Jesse started. Push United to Save
Was Push
Humanity.
before the election or after the election?
Push was before the election.
Before the election.
People United to Save Humanity was before, because he was an SCLC person at first.
Okay.
And then he got suspended.
Go ahead,
break in, just remind Judge Nelson. You know what? It was going on in the country because I was a very young person. I was in high school and going to college, and there was a transition because in the 60s and the 70s, Black Power, those images became dominant, and then we had Nixon, and then here comes Jimmy Carter. We had a Democrat become the president, but then when Jesse started running, our country was at a crisis. That's when we had Iran crisis was going on. That's the first time Nightline is on. We had 24-hour news. That thing started. So when he came to really become nationwide and run for president, it was at that during those times the times have really changed. We had Ronald Reagan had become the president of the United States, popular when he to be a black president. That was just like unbelievable. Nobody thought that would happen in '84. And if it wasn't for Jesse Jackson, there would not be no Barack Obama. And because Jesse's movement in '84, that's what I was waiting for you to talk about, Judge Nelson. In '86, where we were able to change the Senate while Reagan was president. So he was continuing to fight, and it was not an easy fight. We always talk about these things that they were easy when they were happening, but there was a lot of pushback. I mean, a lot of pushback. But he paved the road, and I like what Judge Nelson was saying. He wouldn't step down. Many people, many black people, were telling him to step down, to step aside, but he would not. And we thank God he didn't. And both times, we would have had a better president because we got a better Democratic presidential candidate. One was Mondale, and the other one was Dukakis. And I would tell you, neither one of them did very well at all against the Republican structure. I just want to add that, Judge Nelson.
Why do you think that he never got picked as the vice president in any of those races?
Oh, Jesse wasn't going to be no vice president.
That's the easy one.
Oh, Jesse wasn't going to be no vice president. But in addition to that, Jesse would never have accepted a vice presidency. Jesse was a leader, right. And he would have overshadowed his president. Can you imagine Jesse giving a speech? And say Mondale had run and he selected Jesse, and then Mondale spoke, and then Jesse spoke.
All right.
See, it's not like Pence and and Biden.
Right.
Good point.
You had Obama and you had Jesse. They were not only charismatic, but they were articulate. They had swag, style, presence. And Jesse merged two movements. When he got suspended from SCLC and he went and started Push, he then created the Rainbow Coalition, which really catapulted him way ahead in the '86 election when he merged Push and Rainbow. And the Rainbow Coalition is what helped Obama.
That's right.
See, the realization of the Rainbow Coalition helped Obama. And when you look at that kind of style,
and the changing of the rules. Judge
right.
Nelson.
That's right.
The Democratic Party, where you get to keep your delegates.
That's right.
And because of that, Barack Obama was able to become the nominee. Because of Jesse Jackson and Arnold Pinckney was a huge part of the changing of the rules.
That's right.
For the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Dr. Burton, what do you say? How did Jesse Jackson and the time you had, and where were you at during that time? You were in high school, right? You had to be. Because you're close to my age. We had to be.
No, I am younger than you.
No,
Do not try to
hold up. Wait a minute. No, we had to be. Because Aaron said he was in high school. So that means we were in junior high school.
Yeah, I was in middle school.
I was in middle school.
I was in elementary.
Well, then you was in elementary then. Yeah.
Wait.
Listen, she always want to just make herself seem she's younger than me. But it's going to come out. You know, they hold on to their age as long as they can.
A few years on me.
But during that time, where was you at, and where was you at in your life during that time? I guess that's the question. You were in the you was into the push thing. Because me personally, I knew about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say at that point in my
Uh-huh.
life, it was you knew, you heard,
right.
But it wasn't. I wasn't involved or engaged.
Right.
That wasn't till later, where really catching up and paying attention. But there was something that Judge Nelson said that I thought was interesting, was that whole push of the Black Power movement and the reclaiming of Black is beautiful, Black pride, that took a shift, that many people don't recognize what happened. Now, what I do remember was being in undergrad, and the whole conversation around identity, and Jesse Jackson being behind the African American from Black to African American, and taking that reclamation of using African American. I do remember that from that was
right. She's right.
Yeah, that was when I was in undergrad.
That was the result of that.
Yeah, that was one of those things, is that he actually was one of the proponents of using African American.
For it or against it?
For it.
Really? Okay.
You know, one thing we often miss about Jesse was Jesse wasn't just our Jesse. He was an international player.
Yeah.
You know, Jesse rescued hostages. Jesse went and negotiated the release of hostages from Syria, Iran, and other Middle Eastern countries that our government could not get free. He went and he bought them home.
Yes,
I remember the pilot's name? Goodman. He went and got him and brought him home from Syria. And he just was an irritant to the Reagan and Bush people, because these were things they couldn't do. Jesse stepped out of his Chicago home and went and got his hostages and bought not only one or two, he bought home hundreds of hostages. So we got to put Jesse ranks there right up there. When they talk about
he's on the Mount Rushmore.
He's up there.
You know what I would add to Judge Nelson that a lot of people don't remember? He was a great preacher.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him coming to, I'm sure you know that, Dr. Burton, when he goes to those conventions and he's up to preach, he doesn't give no speeches. He preaches the Bible.
Yeah.
And he is an excellent preacher. Excellent preacher.
Man, I remember when this first sermon Jesse spoke after King's assassination. That was the most powerful.
Wow.
I got it on disc at home. I'm going to have to go pull that bad boy out, man.
Pull it out, Doctor.
Maybe
I want to come listen to it with you.
I'll bring it to the station in Unicorn, and they can figure out how to get a little excerpts on that.
That's a great idea.
Because those are the things that needs to be one preserved, but also shared.
We just got to find a 8-track.
Well, this is on disc. I got it converted. I got it converted from.
But we know Judge has an 8-track. Because if I had an 8-track, I know Judge had an 8-track.
Exactly.
Actually, I got it converted from an album, from vinyl,
to a CD. That's awesome.
You got it waxed. You got it on wax.
Yeah, I had it on wax, but I got it converted.
And that was a speech.
Oh yeah,
because I just thought about what you say. I forgot. They used to do that.
They used to put that on.
You put speeches and stuff on wax. You're right. You're right. Exactly.
Because people would actually listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you said, and sermons.
And then you got to think about.
Yeah, we used to buy them at the convention.
Yeah.
Ken, you know about the National Baptist Convention?
Oh yeah.
Hall was Where you go buy all the things, Dr. Burton, you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
when you
about?
buy all the CDs and stuff, which is and then we're gonna get back to
Right,
Jesse, but I think that's
right.
also
Exhibit hall,
one of the
exhibit
things,
hall.
the exhibit hall. That's one of the things that I always say is for a preacher is what hurts you with social media.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't reuse a sermon.
No.
Because folks want to post everything on social media, where before you could reuse. Because if it wasn't recorded on vinyl or you weren't doing it at a convention or something like that, it wasn't recorded.
Well, you use it till you perfected it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
But now you
Now
do
you-
it. Somebody else will hear it and they'll perfect it for you.
who
You'll be
you
like,
telling
man,
about
they done
that
took
one?"
my message.
And that happened to me with a
I just want them to
presentation.
send me my money when I hear my stuff on social media. Give me a piece of that.
You know, the other thing people forget about Jesse was a major player economics. You know, the whole stock market, I forget the title
Black
of
Wall
that,
Street.
that Black Wall Street initiative. Automobile owners and suppliers really owe Jesse Jackson a debt.
Tell us more about that,
Yeah.
because I'm not too
Well,
familiar.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
not familiar at all.
black people were getting shut out of the automobile industry, supplier, developers, and dealerships. And Jesse, through his Black Wall Street project, really opened the door for blacks to expand their ownership percentages when it came, and manufacturing opportunities when it came to doing molding, for injection molding for automobile parts and part supply. I mean, you can think of a lot of guys and and families that really benefited from Jesse. The Rogerses in Detroit, just go around the country. Those black and he forced Mercedes-Benz, General Motors, Ford, and other companies to give opportunities to black automobile owners. McDonald's. Now, of course, the boycott started here, but to really expand the whole Burger King and all that kind of stuff, expanded well beyond the niche market, so we became major players in those fast food industries. So Jesse was a bad dude.
Judge Nelson, remind us about him leading the effort to boycott Texaco.
Oh yeah, see, and if you didn't treat us right, and see, Jesse had a national presence, and he didn't have to be scared because he had a base. See, some people's base are their elected base, and if you say something, Jesse survived Hymietown.
Yeah.
During his
yes,
campaign,
well.
Jesse made a major mistake. He apologized for it when he referred to Jews as Hymies and called New York Hymietown.
He called New York Hymietown.
Now that would have sunk. That damaged his campaign because I was on my way to Oberlin when that happened. Didn't know it happened till I got there, and people looked at me sideways. But he survived that, and he was able to continue his economic development program. Other guys would have been done.
That's right.
Done. But Jeff is able to continue to do that. He survived a couple of minor scandals, but he, by and large, Jesse was a giant.
Yes, he was.
Well, he's definitely going to be missed because
Yeah.
one of the things we talked about with MLK and all of the other stuff is our leaders in our community is the fact that that's a void that's there that hasn't been picked up. Hell, he's been around all these years, and after he sort of stopped in that role of being able to push as much as he was able to push, it became a void. Again, now I don't know, and y'all in the comments or anybody want to say I'm wrong, you can say I'm wrong, but it's yet to be anybody who step up in those roles. We can't say President Obama because President Obama is a president. He's an elected official who ran for an elected office. When we talk about the pieces of our community that really are the things that shape our community, that makes us better, that gets to the root of what's going on, that people want to truly get behind that's that person who people can look at and think they're doing it for no reason at all other than the fact that they're doing it. You know, that was the MLKs. That was the Jesse Jackson. That's your Farrakhan's. That's those guys.
Yeah.
All right. Elected officials are elected officials. They there to do a job, and they there to get elected, and they're there to represent us in that regards. Yeah. And that's what we're missing in our community. There's not enough superheroes or enough prophets, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. That's not elected officials. But and I guess the question also raises as to the why.
And
why.
maybe the why goes back to when we opened up the conversation and I asked Judge what was going on to make people feel as if Black Power really meant something. What made that afro, the dashikis? You came in here the other day with your dashiki on. What made them feel as if it's time to put on the dashiki? Black Power. This is our time to do it.
Well, I think one of the I think so, and I shared this with some students the other week. Is so Judge's generation, and we think about it, Ken, we're the first generation born after the Civil Rights Act. First generation born after the Civil Rights Act. So we're born into what we're identifying as desegregation. And many people that are coming in our generation and after don't know the struggle of what segregation really looked like and what Black people had to fight for and to deal with. And I think many people have lost that concept. Like I share with my students, you don't know anything but what's supposed to be integration. That's all you know. Now, is it real integration? Of course not. But this is all you know. And so when you think that this is the way the world has been, you lose the desire to fight.
And that's my point. So when people ask me my biggest fear, that is it. Yeah. It's like, what are we going to look like in the future? I mean, what happens when, that whole thing is gone? And Dr. Burton, we laugh and joke and we say, oh, we were in middle school and this and that. But we are, as you say, the last of that. Because our kids don't know what it is to live without cell phones, any of the other stuff, or to understand what it was before, to understand why it should be different now. And that's the part that I am the most afraid for them, because of that. If they want to get it, it's bad enough the government and others are fighting to push it away from us, but our community, and we do a very good job of our own by not doing anything about it at all. As small as it is, and I got you, Judge. As small as it is, we praise the fact that Unicorn is doing her project because it's something. It's something. At least she's trying to tell the neighborhood to, hey, can you put a sign in your yard to at least let me know if I'm in trouble? I can knock on your door without coming up there and be afraid that you're gonna shoot me or just be at me. You're saying you are welcome to at least knock on my door. Because right now in our communities and stuff, people don't feel that way. You don't feel as if people are approachable or anything. I was watching, this is going to be it to you, Jeff. I was watching Ari Spears, and I got you guys. Ari Spears did a thing, and people was on him. They was mad at him because he did this thing where he talked about he ain't never coming back to Cleveland to do any stand-up shows, anything. And he talked about why. And he said the reason why, he said, you go to a talk show in Cleveland, everybody's sitting in there mean mugging you, like, you better make me laugh. You got to make me funny. You better be funny. You got to. And they just sit there. And he was like, man, you say you go to other cities, they come there. We had a comedy club. We're here to have fun. He said, you come to Cleveland, they all just sitting there looking at you all mean. And every entertainer, everybody, I done interviewed a lot, Latifah that sat there, they all say the exact same
They booed Charlie Murphy.
Remember that? I remember,
and that's us as a people.
Yeah, I remember my dad used to always tell me stories about, what was it, Lou's Casino and the other places where people would go for entertainment, and Cleveland being the hardest place. And if you made it in Cleveland, then you were guaranteed to make it anywhere. And I think we still have this mindset. And I don't know why or how we break it down. I also attributed some stuff sometimes to the fact, and I don't know, and I read this at one point, that Cleveland was the second largest segregated city.
That's true.
And so when you think about that, I think we still have some trickle down angry and animosity that resides in us. Yeah. And it's like we do have to treat our own better. And I was gonna go back to when I was talking about that, is that we not only do we not treat each other right, but then we step and we take on the perspective of normalized whiteness of who we should and should not be, which also ruins the fight of saying, hey, I got to think about what's missing in the community. I got to think about how I advance in the community, because too many of us have taken on the norms of whiteness.
That's correct. That's correct.
Well, couple of things. First of all, we who were in the movement don't want you who followed us to have to experience what we experienced. My mother didn't want me to experience in my life what she experienced in her life. Mm-hmm. In fact, the fight was so that you wouldn't experience. Mm-hmm. Now, let's take the Unicorn, what she's doing with her effort. She's doing that out of necessity because we need it. Mm-hmm. And we've always had people respond to what we need. Mm-hmm. And there will be someone who will respond. Jasmine Crockett and them, they coming on, and they're coming because there's a need for what they're doing. Mm-hmm. When Jesse showed, remember, most of our leaders were suit and tie cats. Mm-hmm. Martin, Whitney Young, all of them were Roy Wilkins. They were suit and tie guys. Jesse broke through with his jean jacket on, his fringe vest, his big fro. Mm-hmm. He was speaking to the issues that were important to the grassroots. Mm. You look at Malcolm's message to the grassroots. So that the grassroots, and even today, the people who are not voting are the grassroots. And if the grassroots gets riled up, if the grassroots comes to the table, then all of our fortunes will improve. But we got to reach out to the grassroots. I was looking at how we knocked out Trump the first time. The grassroots got excited because people were meeting with the grassroots, and the grassroots then organized, and they fought and combined their efforts with everybody else. So here's Jesse. Jesse would come in and he give a speech, and everybody showed up for the speech. Mm-hmm. Because they knew they were going to hear some inspiration, and he followed it with some action. So right now we're just waiting for that person. And you and Dr. Burton and Unicorn, the worst enemy of the Negro is the Negro. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jesse's biggest critics were not white folks. He knew what they were coming from. Right. It was the Negro.
It was the Negro.
And you three, as you do your efforts and start getting out here, you don't feel the pain from the other Negros.
Oh, I feel it every day.
I feel it already.
But
the Negroes.
My phone, I open my phone up in the morning, I feel that pain.
But here's the point. Here's the point. You all use the inspiration of Jesse.
Right.
Who was able to fight off the Negroes while he fought for rights and justice for the grassroots. And you all got that going for yourselves as well.
Doc, what you think Jesse would want everybody to know before?
To live a life like Jesse. Mm-hmm. And I put this on social media. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. And so that's what we need to do, that when it's our last day, our last breath on earth, that somebody can say the same thing for us, is that well done, thy good and faithful servant.
What you think? Whoa. Oh, that's my favorite. Judge, you got like 2 seconds. What do you think Jesse wanted us to know?
He wants us to can raise the boats, to lift the boats so that everybody will rise. Mm-hmm. He had his favorite quote. I can't remember right now. But by raising up the level of water that we were operating in, we all will rise. And I'll get the quote before we leave.
So I want to let everybody know that we are doing another special next week because Dr. Burton is not going to be here. So we're going to have Aaron Phillips in the studio, and Reverend Cavanis is going to join us, and he's going to talk about.
How you going to have Reverend Cavanis in the studio when I'm not in town?
I had to fill your seat. You ought to be happy. Look
I am. This. That's somebody that can feel. That's somebody that can that deserves the seat.
That's right. Yeah. A rising tide lifts all boats. That's Jesse's statement.
That's what Jesse would want us to know.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
All right, y'all, we got to get up out of here. Unicorn gave us the finger like a minute or two ago.
And not the finger, but a finger.
She gave us a finger. Okay. She want me to keep it clear. She gave us the finger to say it's time to go. So to next week, Reverend Cavanis, Aaron Phillips, Dr. Have a safe trip. Judge will be with us next week as well. To everybody, peace.
Cleveland, this is your show, your topics and your voice. Join me, Kenn Dowell, for What's on Your Mind Tuesday on 95.9 FM WOVU. Call in or comment on social media. Let's make this conversation unforgettable. Streaming live at WOVU.org. What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell Radio Show for What's on Your Mind Tuesdays. Call in, comment, and connect on WOVU 95 FM, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media. Let's go.